Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Wherever you are in the world, I hope you're having a great day. Welcome to Audubon Investing. My name is Brian, and I'm here to educate, entertain, hopefully learn a couple things along the way, and talk about what I'm doing from a day trading perspective. Today sucked. Let me get that out right out of the gate. Market's up 600 points, and like I talked about last night, my Baidu put option, which I did get into this morning, unfortunately, because that turned the opposite direction than I expected, and I covered that put around noon, and we'll talk about why and what I did, and I took a loss on that today. So I'm ending the night in all cash, but I do have some awesome, what I think are totally awesome setups for tomorrow that I look forward to talking about. I hope you enjoy, so let's just jump right in. So I'm not going to kid you. That was one frustrating day. As I indicated last night, my plan today was, after seeing the action last night, I thought we were really going down today. And so I watched, I entered the day in just cash. And this morning, with a bounce in Baidu, I bought the put option that I talked about last night and sold that for a $400 loss. Nothing like watching the market go up 600 points and you're sitting there on an 8% loss in your account for the day. So then I use the afternoon simply to build my watch list for the rest of the week, tomorrow and into next week. And I'm excited to share that with you because I think after today's gains, saw some nice setups going into tomorrow and going into to next week. So not going to dwell on the failure of today too much, but I do want to talk about it and learn from it and see what you guys think. So let's just jump over to that. Okay, so let's start with today's abysmal failure. So as I indicated last night, I was going after the Baidu puts. I thought the setup looked great for a trend down to the 50-day moving average. And so I watched it open. It gapped down a couple bucks, maybe $5-6 down at the open. And it by 10:30 or so, well, not even that, 9:45, it filled that gap. At which point, up here, I bought the put. Now the spread between the bid and the ask on those was high, and I ended up getting in at 10, which was more than I should have done. I should have set the limit for lower. It did trend down to the 32.50 mark, and then it started climbing. And once at about this bar right around 12 noon today, when it was clearly going to go back over the day's high and hit 240, just shy of 240, I closed that position at 600, so a $400 loss. And of course, it continued to climb through the rest of the day, going up to 245. I mean, and looks like it's closing this gap from the day before yesterday at 248 at a minimum, so around the 250 mark. I still think Baidu is a good trend down to the 50-day moving average, but you know, with these options, timing is everything, right? And so I bought at the wrong time. I sold it, cut my losses. I move on. So that's that. So here's my watch list for tomorrow, and I'm actually pretty excited because the market move today has done some nice setups, and I found quite a bit of things to add to the watch list. But I want to highlight 4 of them for you that I'm real excited about, most excited about. One is LI Auto. And as you can see, LI Auto had a nice move from about 20. This is in late October to upwards of 47.50 by the end of December. No, sorry, by the end of November. Trended down, broke the 50-day moving average late December, popped back up, climbed to the 37.50, and then fell back below the 30-day, the 50-day. That's sitting right now at 33.58. Fell back a couple days ago below that mark. Today's move, that white candle engulfing yesterday's open and close, I view as very positive for a move at a minimum back to the 50-day. But if it breaks that, which is what I'm planning for, is a quick move back to the 37.50. The MACD is trending down with a negative crossover a couple days ago, so I'm planning for a shallow MACD move back up. RSI is right around the midpoint, which is very positive. And so I think this is looking like a bounce. It needs to get, of course, over the 50-day. If it doesn't get over the 50-day moving average in the next day or two, then I'm going to pull the plug and cut my losses on this. And certainly a move down below 30, I'll cut my losses on that. But this is looking like a move. And as you can see, again, I love these stocks that has shown that they don't mind playing in the overbought territory. And a move from this, what's like the 1750 to 47 in a month and a half, 5 weeks or so, is a pretty bold move. So it's proved that it can run. And we got to break above that 50-day moving average is step one. So I'll be looking for that to happen tomorrow. If it does that on volume, above today's volume, then I'll be buying calls 3 or 4 weeks out, $35 calls. All right, Salesforce. Salesforce looks like it might be trying to move above the 50-day as well. And it's got a nice gap down from the beginning of December around the 240 mark. Gap down to the 214, came down and is now bumping up against that 50-day moving average. So again, I'm looking for that to go through that 50-day. What I really like here is the MACD has crossed over and is moving back up towards the midpoint. So we'll see if that occurs. We need that break above the 50-day in Salesforce CRM. And we need that 50-day to start making the turn back north. But that being said, if you look back at the end of August, and we're bumping up against that earnings season here again, but at the end of August, we had a huge gap up and a nice move from the 215 to what ended up being about the 280 mark in a couple of weeks before it nailed back down. So anyway. Looking for a move above the 250 to see if this thing can run and the minimum fill that gap to 245 and hopefully above that in the next couple days. Most excited about DraftKings. DraftKings has formed a nice base over the last about December timeframe. Moved quite nicely from the 37.50 up to the 60, just shy of 65 at the end of September. Fell back down, retraced all the way back down and below the 50-day, came back up over it mid-November, had a small move below it at the beginning of the year, and here we are in this basing pattern, high in the 55 mark and low somewhere in the 45, I guess, mark, with the bulk of that in the upper half of that channel. It looks like with today's candle that it's moved above that, or is trying to move above that channel. And we'll see for confirmation tomorrow. Volume today on that was above yesterday, which is certainly positive. 56.17 is where it closed. It's up a little bit in the aftermarket. But again, this is looking like everything's turning positive here. The RSI is moving back north. The MACD is above the center point and trending up. Certainly the 50-day is moving up at 50.86. This is not too far extended above the 50-day. And DraftKings, with this political climate in terms of what states are going to need to do to recover some of this lost tax revenue, this could very well be a very positive sign for DraftKings. If DraftKings gets volume into it, 65 is not out of the question. A good $9 move on volume back up to that old high. If that happens, I'll buy in tomorrow with a break above the 57.50. I'll hold it to 65 and see. Because a break above 65, and then we're in uncharted territory here and in price discovery. And as we've seen from our friends over at GameStop and other things we've been watching, price discovery can sometimes be a hell of a lot of fun. So we'll watch for that. The other thing I'll highlight is Virgin Galactic. So this is the 3-day, I guess, move in Virgin Galactic. Low in the mid 30s, broke around 57.50 yesterday morning, and then it's trended back down and looks like it's flatlined for the most part today. Maybe there's still some movement here, but at some point this should be moving back up. Not to say that I'll look for it to recover all the way back up to that 57.50 mark. Let's see what those candles show us. 58.60. I'm not saying it'll move all the way back up to that mark. Maybe it will, maybe it won't, but certainly somewhere north of that. It looks like some resistance maybe here on volume around the 50.70 mark. So a bounce up 10%, 20%. I guess it would be about 18% or so from its current levels would be pretty positive. It looks like this 52.50, 43.50 to 42.50 mark is trying to hold. I'll look for that to continue to hold and see if volume comes back into this and we can play a bounce off of Virgin Galactic. So those are the four that I'm watching right now, and I will be right out of the open tomorrow morning. Again, I'm just like I did yesterday. I'm ending today in a cash situation where I have nothing invested in the market. I don't know. Today got on my nerves with that 600-point move. I guess the market closed down 300 or up 300, but it was just a shitty day when the market's up 600 and you end up being down 400. But look, that's trading, right? That's what we do. So moving on. Okay, hope you enjoyed. Listen, I am not a financial advisor. I'm a dude with a computer that loves talking about this stuff. So I hope you enjoy. I hope you learn a couple things along the way and are entertained. But do not buy or sell anything simply because I said so. And if you do enjoy and would feel so inclined, I'd greatly appreciate it if you hit the subscribe button. Comment, likes are always appreciated. That certainly helps the YouTube algorithm. So thank you for that in advance. Appreciate you, and we'll see you here this weekend. Have a great night. Thanks.